Long time no see. Basketball Brett here, or I suppose now I'm rebranding to Sporty Brett. That sounds weird. I don't like that. But today we're not talking about basketball because it's playoff time in the NFL. Wild Card Weekend, or Wild Card Super Weekend as they're calling it, is Saturday, Sunday, and Monday coming up here. So I thought I would offer my take on how the playoffs are going to go. Maybe I'll be terribly off, or maybe I'll be spot on. Either way, it'll be funny to come back to once the playoffs are over. So, figured I'd put it on record. So, the first game tomorrow will be the Raiders and Bengals. Raiders had, of course, that thrilling game against the Chargers that got them into the playoffs. There's that whole debacle about the timeouts and whatnot. They could have kneeled on it. Both teams could have kneeled on it, and then they're both in the playoffs. Interesting little scenario there, of course. But the Raiders are in, Chargers are out, despite a great game from Herbert, converting every fourth down. I'm going with the Bengals to win this game. It's not that I don't believe in the Raiders, but I just think that duo, Burrow and Chase, and that whole team has just been gaining momentum as the season has sort of progressed. And it feels like they've got kind of a spark. When they won their division the last week of the season, you can really feel that they've kind of got something going there. And for the first time in a long time, they are the Bengals. So they are my pick for that game. The second game tomorrow is Patriots and Bills in the absolute freezing cold, 0-degree game in Buffalo. And I think those weather conditions, I got to lean towards New England. Of course, you look at the regular season game they played when the wind was out of control. They won that game. You would think the freezing cold would also cause similar kind of strategy. New England are probably going to run the ball a lot. Josh Allen doesn't play well in the cold. Under other circumstances, I may very well go with the Bills to win that game, but I think the weather's going to swing it for New England, I would say. I feel like Belichick is going to know what to do in that circumstance. Now we get into the Sunday games. We start with Buccaneers and Eagles. The Buccaneers are a little banged up at the moment, but I don't see that stopping them from beating the Eagles. It's just hard to see, right, that the Eagles are really going to pull that upset on the one and only Tom Brady. So, yeah, I don't think there's much there with Philly. Game after that is Cowboys and 49ers. It's definitely another interesting one. Could go either way. I am picking the Cowboys for this one. It's just, I know he did have a Super Bowl run, but it's just hard to trust Jimmy G for some reason. That Cowboys offense does seem pretty loaded. Though, like I said, that's one that can go either way. Chiefs Steelers is the night game. Another one not quite as competitive, clearly. Big Ben was saying how, he doesn't even think the Steelers have much of a chance there. So I am, of course, picking the Chiefs. I'm not going to go that bold and think the Steelers can win. I'm sure they'll get a boost from it being Roethlisberger's last game. If they lose, which they will. Okay, moving on to the Monday night game. There's also one Monday night game. Rams and Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins, of course, out. I think that has the potential to make a big impact on the game. The Rams are another team I feel like gotten a lot better in the second half of the season, actually. We know they're loaded with talent. Cardinals are a young team, haven't really had much playoff experience at this point. I got to lean towards the Rams. I am kind of a believer in them, actually. Stafford has thrown a lot of picks, but, I think it's largely a result of him just learning the offense still. It's his first year. in LA after 13 in Detroit. Um, so Rams for that one. Now we're on to the divisional round, just like that. Titans versus Bengals would be the next matchup. Just going based on my own bracket now, of course. Titans have the bye. And this one might come as a bit of a surprise. I'm picking the Bengals again. So the Titans, they haven't really, for most of the year, had their full core intact, it feels like. And as great as Derrick Henry is, of course, it's his first game in a while. There's a good chance he's going to have some rust. And, the receiving core has been kind of in and out for that team. For them to just launch right into a Super Bowl run and put it all together, I'm not sure that's going to happen. Like I said, the Bengals feel like they've been just winding up as the year has gone on, and I think they're actually going to make a deep playoff run. So, after that, my next matchup is Patriots and Chiefs. And this one also may be surprising. I have the Patriots winning that. The Chiefs, they've been kind of all over the place. They were shit to start, and then they got really good with that 8-game win streak, of course. I kind of feel like they're going to sputter out against the Patriots. I think that defense is the perfect one to get them mixed up and kind of get them playing sloppy again. Mahomes was throwing a lot of picks at one point. If anyone has the formula to make that happen again, you would think it's probably Bill Belichick. So I actually have the Patriots all the way back to the AFC Championship game. They're just the dynasty you can't kill, I guess. So now on the other side, in the NFC, we have the Packers and the Rams in Lambeau Field, which would be a very interesting matchup there. Packers with the bye. So, like I was saying, I am a believer in the Rams, but at the same time, it just feels like a bit much to say they're going to go in and beat the Packers this year with how good the Packers have looked. I think this will be a close game, but I do see the Packers ultimately winning this one. They just seem tighter. They pretty much seem like the most consistent team in the league this year, I would say. You can't really say that about the Rams. It's just a tall order to beat the Packers at home. So then we have Buccaneers Cowboys. And for this one, I think those injuries are finally going to catch up to the Bucs. I have the Cowboys actually in the NFC Championship game. It's been a low couple of years for them, but I think they're motivated to get back on track, and I think they just might get the right matchups to do it. So that would leave the Packers and the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game, and the Bengals and Patriots in the AFC Championship game. And we'll start off with that one. I have the Patriots actually winning that and going all the way back to the Super Bowl. People would have a lot of feelings on that, I imagine. Yeah, it's the Joe Burrow factor. As much as he looks like a phenom, as great as he is, being a second-year quarterback against Belichick in the playoffs, I think that's probably where the run would end for the Bengals. The AFC is really kind of just a crazy toss-up. It feels like it could be just about anyone. And I have a pretty unpredictable championship game going down there. I have the Chiefs and Titans both actually losing in the divisional round as the top two seeds. The Patriots' defense is great. Their offense is not bad either. I don't see why they can't win the whole AFC. So we then have the Packers and Cowboys, as I mentioned, NFC Championship game. And it just seems like a little much for the Cowboys to go into Lambeau, beat Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams. I think that's probably too tall of an order for them. So I am going with the Packers to finally make the Super Bowl after last 2 years coming up just short of it, and having disappointing season seemingly because there was that expectation, considering who Aaron Rodgers is, I guess, the unvaccinated wonder. Um, so that leaves us with the Super Bowl being Patriots and Packers. I don't know. I don't think that many people are picking that for a Super Bowl. If I'm right, it's going to seem pretty awesome. So I do think the end of the day will be the Packers who hoist the championship trophy. I think they're the safest bet of any team in the league. As much as I had some unique predictions here, I would say that's not a terribly unique prediction that they'll win the championship. It's just the road to that happening. I had quite a few twists and turns on there. And the reason for this, a rookie quarterback with Mac Jones in the Super Bowl, it's a lot to say that they would win the whole thing, I feel like, with that being the case, especially with what they're up against. And the Packers, it just seems like luck is going to go their way eventually. They definitely had some bad luck, or maybe it was just King last year in the NFC Championship game. So those are all my predictions right there, from the wild card to the Super Bowl. Well, if for some reason you decided to listen to this ramble, you're big enough of a football fan to just stick that out with me. Yeah, thanks for that. I just wanted to get my predictions down, so I had a little record of them. Peace.